Welcome back to Hybrid Studios, and welcome into the Coliseum. On today's episode, and in the Coliseum today, we have, unfortunately, Tennessee's first loss to Georgia, but we have plenty of other things to laugh at from people that we like to laugh at, and so we're going to do that as well. But today's episode is going to be a deep dive on the Tennessee-Georgia game. Still not fully recovered, to be totally real, but we're going to do it. We got a lot of really interesting stuff to talk about, and a lot of different things to look at. So, without further ado, welcome back to the Coliseum. Let's go ahead and get into the substance of today's video. We're going to start out like we have a couple times already with Nico Iamaleava and the UCLA Bruins out in LA. What we're talking about today, though, did escalate things quite a bit, I would say. Their head coach, Deshaun Foster, has been fired after starting 0-3 this year. Nico's play obviously doesn't help that a whole lot, but they lost again last weekend. They lost again last weekend, and Deshaun Foster has been fired. After finding out that Deshaun Foster is who he is, I'm just going to leave that picture up for now. After finding out that Deshaun Foster is who he is, whenever I show you this next clip, I'm a little bit more lenient on Nico than I thought that I would be or have been so far, because this shit here is crazy. Let me find, we got it right here. Okay, so Deshaun Foster fired, etc. So this clip comes back up, and I remember seeing this at the time, and I honestly have no idea how I didn't connect the two, because I would have used this already. But for example, this was my initial reaction whenever I read through this. So this is exactly that. I mean, what I said right there, again, not exaggerating at all. You just tell me. I'm gonna shut up. You tell me what you think. You just hired a head coach. Okay, you just hired a head coach, and his literal first press conference, he's asked basically to give, an opening statement, kind of tell us what you're about, tell us what your program's going to be about, that kind of thing. Let's see what Deshaun Foster. This is the aftermath, but let's see what Deshaun Foster had to say about that.
Not too much about UCLA, but our football program, but we're in LA. It's us and USC. I'm just basically excited, really. That's it. Any questions?
Brother, I have 150,000 questions. Let's just run through that one more time. Again, this is essentially him being like, "Hey, what's up, guys? I'm new here." I can't even fucking talk now after watching that. So look, this is his introductory press conference. This is just his opening statement. Here's a great example. Dan Campbell with the whole biting the kneecaps thing, right? That was one of the reasons why that went so crazy online, was because that's a very unusual way to start your tenure and to establish the culture of your program. But obviously that's exactly, what his team has become. So it's a great opportunity in one sense, and also just not that hard to mess up, even if you aren't going to go out there and say anything, specifically crazy. So let's give Deshaun Foster one more shot to answer the question. What are you going to do as the UCLA head coach? What are you about? Who are you? Etc. Introduce yourself. Introduce UCLA to anybody that may be watching. Let's see what he has to say. The guy you just hired to lead your program. Let's see.
Not too much about UCLA, but our football program, but we're in LA. It's us and USC. I'm just basically excited.
Dude, the amount of time in between even what he did say, and what he did say was nothing. He literally said, "We're in LA. It's called UCLA, Deshaun. What is happening?" I legit feel bad for him, but also, oh my God, the length of time in between the answers is just brutal. So Deshaun Foster out, which actually brings up kind of something funny. I believe I have a post on here for that as well. Should have one. Virginia Tech, by the way, while we're here, the reason why Virginia Tech is on this this graphic is because they also fired their head coach, and the reason why they fired their head coach is because I would think had something to do with this. 28-0 to Old Dominion before halftime. 28-0 to Old Dominion. Old Dominion. What is happening? 0-2 start and already down 28-0 to Old Dominion. Had 3 good, decent seasons with Justin Fuente, while Brent Barais only had 1 season. He's 7-6 in 2023. He's only had 1 winning season. I mean, I remember reading this the other day whenever I bookmarked it, and I was like, I mean, that guy's got to go. I mean, that's the definition of a coach that needs to be fired, isn't it? So, yeah, that's why they are on this graphic right here. So UCLA and Virginia Tech players get into the trend. Okay, so if a head coach is fired mid-season, then all players have a 30-day transfer window. Neither team's played 4 games, meaning that each player is eligible to use their red shirt as well. The head coaches for both of these teams were fired, obviously. So, I mean, Nico should do what's best for him and for his family, like legitimately, but it's already horrific. I don't know if there's anything that could make it worse than transferring again after you've only played 3 games and your head coach has been fired and it's mid-season. And like, I mean, this would be, first of all, the fact that that's even a rule, I'm sorry, is insane. The idea with the transfer thing is like, well, the head coaches can go to other schools if they want to. He was fired. So like, you just get to also bail. Like, for one thing, if you're the university, you're thinking if we fire the head coach, who clearly needs to be fired, we may lose all our damn players. I mean, that's just a terrible rule. There's so many reasons why that's a bad rule. But anyways, they can do that, I suppose. So this man may be a free agent again before the season is even halfway through, before they even, they played a quarter of the games. They should fire both QBs instead of the coaches. Probably. So yeah, that is Nico and UCLA. That's enough dancing on their grave. Let's get to the main event. Unfortunately, Tennessee falls to Georgia on Saturday in, to be honest, one of the most frustrating games that I've watched in quite a while. That's not probably a surprise to anybody. That being said, of course, there is a ton to talk about. Final score 41-44 in an overtime period that never should have even happened. But yeah, where we're going to start with is that extends Georgia's winning streak over Tennessee to 9. And there were a lot of people during the game that were talking about how good of a game it was, and that poor kid. We're going to come back to that. But how good of a game it was and these kind of things. That's insane. I did talk about the defense, right? I did say before the and looky there. So that's hilarious. While we're here with the ESPN Instant Classic thing, why is that not on NCAA? I mean, on NCAA, I'm aging myself. Why is that not on college football 25 or 26? That'd be such an easy thing to add to that. But yeah, a lot of people really enjoyed this game. For a lot of different reasons, and I enjoyed it up to a certain point, but after that it was quite disappointing. The 21-7 lead, which you can see here, one of many touchdowns to Chris Brazzell. We are going to be coming back to that very, very heavily, but we started out very, very strong. The one thing in that moment that was a little bit scary is that, again, Josh Heupel teams do this. I talked about this last week, by the way. The video that I made last week, if you haven't watched it, even though it's after this game or before this game was played, go watch that video. I'm telling you, every single thing that I said about Josh Heupel basically came true in this game, and we're going to get to all of those things. But seriously, like, it really couldn't have been at a better time that I put that out, because this game really typifies a lot of the things that I brought up. So that being said, we start out strong, look like we can't be stopped like we often do at times, and then out of nowhere, like we also often do at times. I don't know why these are out of order, and then we totally disappeared for 3 quarters or whatever it was, which we also do at times, which was one of my points, is that they are to some degree front runners. They'll come out really fast, and then the other team fights back slowly but surely. This is exactly what I talked about with Syracuse. Is it not? We go up 17-0, and then the rest of the game is a 28-26 game. I literally said that also in that episode, that I was worried about going into this game because of that exact thing right there. We start out strong, and then the fact that Syracuse was able to come back and make it a game. You don't love to see that going into a game with an opponent that is way better, because if that happens here, we'll lose, which we did. So let's just go ahead and get into Chris Brazzell. So I'm going to show you a couple of these clips here. We already went through this one. This one here is later on in the game. We're going to go to this one next. This is the first one. I don't know why these are so out of order, but I mean, this is ridiculous. And I think it was this one that there was PI as well. Yep. So it's PI as well. This one sent us absolutely into a frenzy. I was throwing shit. I was screaming. It's 7-7 right here. Good game. But to just bust it open like this was absolutely amazing. And also, we just don't. it drives me crazy. With the Heupel thing, I love the scheme and everything, but sometimes I just want us to just have a guy that could just make a damn play and that everybody's going to know their name because they're just nasty, not because they're part of a system and this kind of thing. And Brazel is going to be that, and we're going to talk about him quite a bit here because he is that. I mean, this is easy. This is the easiest catch against a Georgia defender that you'll ever see. This one looks like it was shot on a cell phone, but let's see this one. Also just ridiculous. A little bit of offensive PI, not going to lie to you, but we'll take it. So after the first quarter, Chris Brazel had 4 catches for over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. Okay, so keep that in mind. 4 catches, 107 yards for 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. Okay, the rest of the game, Chris Brazel was targeted, and this is where I'm going to just start letting it fly. Chris Brazel was targeted twice. One of them was that catch that we just saw in the third quarter. A little bit better quality on this. I mean, listen, if I'm a Georgia fan, I'm going to say that that's offensive PI. I get it. But at the end of the day, he just went up and fucking mossed that. Absolutely embarrassed that kid straight up. Now, again, this is now his 5th catch for 162 yards and 3 TDs. All 3 TDs were throw-ups to him that he just did that. And I was talking to my dad on the phone about this, and he basically said that he didn't put as much stock into those, and he didn't think that the offensive coordinator, Josh Heupel, should have either because they were such 50-50 balls and were essentially kind of like, 50-50 balls. I mean, it could go the other way as well, and they just happened to both go our way. One more thing real quick. Look at this ball. Look at that. Look at that. Russell Wilson gets a lot of praise for his moon ball in the pros, but what I want you to focus on is the way that it tilts upward and then like the nose of the ball. Watch how the nose of the ball goes straight up and then the nose comes down. I mean, that is beautiful. Beautiful. I actually got to stop what I'm doing and just see that again. That is, let me see, Joey. I mean, the trajectory that takes is just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So anyways, point being is 5 receptions, 162, 3 TDs at this point. This is the end of the third quarter to make it a 28-27 game, which by the way means already, first quarter he had 4 for 107 and 2 tutties. Okay. So between the second quarter and this is now the end of the third quarter. No, not 2. One more fucking time they threw him the ball and it was this. So you give him the ball. This drives me so insane, dude. You give him the ball 4 times. He has 107 yards and 2 touchdowns. You don't come back to him for an entire quarter. Then you don't come back to him for another entire quarter. Then you throw him the ball again, and he does that. How many touches do you think he had the rest of the game? First of all, it's inexcusable that he had 5 through fucking 3 quarters after 4 and 2 tutties. I know I keep saying the stats over and over again, but how is that possible that he's out here doing this the entire game and he has 5 touches through the end of the third quarter? It's insane. But what may be fucking worse than insane, and worse than this specifically, to the point of negligence, is the fact that in the fourth quarter, he only had 1 more touch. On the last couple of drives, on the last drive to seal the game, to kick the field goal, he had 0 touches. In overtime, he had 0 touches. The guy is absolutely dominating. Nick Saban is very famous for saying, in those moments, you think of players, not plays. There is no excuse for not throwing this guy the ball. He's got 3 touchdowns. I was standing about an inch away from my TV screaming. The man is in one-on-one coverage. He has 3 touchdowns and almost 200 yards receiving. Throw him the ball. I do not care if they're doubling him, which they weren't doubling him. It was single coverage because, and this is what frustrates me, right? Heupel's supposed to be this offensive mastermind, yet he plays conservative when he shouldn't. And in a situation like this, a friend of mine who was over was talking about how, they probably have him doubled. No, they don't. Because if you're not going to force them to double him by just going to him over and over again, there's no point in even having that advantage. There's no point, in having the advantage of having the better player on the field and being able to score whenever the fuck you want to, basically, which is what they were able to do. There's no point in having that advantage. And even schematically, as far as it impacts the rest of the offense, there's no point in having that advantage if you never throw to him. Therefore, they could just put him in one-on-one anyway. So that's what they were doing. They're like, well, you're not even throwing it to him. I mean, every time you do, he scores, but you're not even throwing it to him. So we're going to commit to the middle and we're going to commit in other places because you're not forcing us to double him. And I am not joking you whenever I say I would have forced them to double or triple team. Like, I would have forced him the ball. Force him the ball. It opens everything up. And by the way, at the end of the game, whenever you really, really, really need it, to not go to him in the fourth quarter overtime makes absolutely zero sense to me. Makes absolutely zero sense to me. The guy's dominating the football game. He's got 5 catches for 3 touchdowns. How you end up losing that game and he has 1 touch in the fourth quarter in overtime and no touches basically in the second or third quarter after you go up big. It's crazy. It's crazy. And what I will agree with my dad on is that the fact that he made those plays hid the fact that we should have been down by a whole lot more. He bailed us out. Well, you're getting that shown whenever you're not giving them the ball. They're coming back, and it's a totally different game. And each time that it seemed like Georgia would come back early on, through the first 3 quarters, especially obviously that first bit, because that's the whole point here. But even in that third quarter, they're down. They're finally down 27-21 because they've given them 2 quarters without giving the best guy on the damn field the ball. And we're like, well, I guess let's just see what happens. They throw it up to him again. It's another touchdown. And then you just don't go. It makes no sense, dude. So anyways, I actually haven't watched this clip yet, so we're going to watch this together and see what we think about this guy's breakdown of this Brazzle film. At first, by the way, Jalen Hyatt's 4 touchdowns against Alabama, nowhere near what this is. Jalen Hyatt was schematically wide open, and he's just a speedster. Brazzle's something different, like Dante Thornton, 6'5", who runs a 4.3, who was in our offense last year. Yeah, it was schematics, but he got a little something different. And Brazzle might be the best one that I've seen in Heupel's offense. Side note, we did sign the highest rated receiver Tennessee's ever had in Tristan Keys recently. But let's see what this guy has to say about Brazzle.
Chris Brazzle the second, man, I dove into his tape today. There's a lot there. You see that wide receiver 1 question mark. I'm going to make an early prediction. This guy's going to be in the mix come April for the first receiver off the board. You see that in and out of his break? Talking about 6'3", 6'4", just fluid hips and then the acrobatic catch. The other thing is, this guy can fly. Why don't you get on top of this Georgia defensive back? And then coming back to the football, adjust, make the play on the ball, and then that balance after the catch. I don't know, man. A lot of good receivers in the 2026 class.
Okay. What the fuck? Look at this release. Look at this. Oh, no. Well, the release is good, but to the... Oh, my Lord. Buddy's 10 yards, full 5 yards downfield. He don't even know where the hell he is. This dude is in hell right now. This dude is in hell. And watch this release right here. Oh, you gonna press me, huh? Because I'm big and tall and long and... Oh, goodbye. Goodbye. And then, yes, just such good ball skills right there. And also, whenever this happened, I was like, to be fair, if it's going to get underthrown, he went way underthrown so that he can make a play like that or draw a PI, which he ends up doing both. But yeah, let's watch this route one more time. Again, keep it in mind how big and long and fast this man is. Look at the breakdown. See ya. Buddy literally underlined the pilot. The Georgia cornerback just underlined the pilot with his running path. Just kept going straight. That's crazy. That's crazy. And this release is nuts too. Dude comes over there nice and lazy. Did it? To be totally honest with you, that was just kind of a simple outside move, and I think this dude's probably terrible and questioning his life decisions at the moment. But still, we'll take it. And overall, that's some pretty good tape for Brazzle to put up. It's not surprising to start seeing this stuff right afterwards. You got Todd McShay saying that already. That's pretty good. Pretty high praise. I got one more for that. This is this is also Todd McShay. In and out of his break, fluid hips, and then makes the acrobatic catch. The other thing, this is literally a text of what he just said on the video. That's wild. That's wild. Oh, it's that again. What? That's my bad. Let's move on. Okay, so towards the end of the game, this is going to bring up a couple other things. The Chris Brazzle thing I really can't get over. I really don't understand. And I could literally just repeat that over and over again. And to me, it wouldn't be said enough because it just makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me how you have a guy who is absolutely dominating the football game. You just stop going to him after the first quarter. And then you're like, you randomly remember, you're like, it's like, I feel like, I don't know, let's throw it up to him again. Because there's no, okay, he did it again. All right. And then you just forget about him again. It's like, I've never seen it. I've never seen anything like that before. But let's get into the end of the game. Okay, so first of all, I want to talk about a clip that I cannot find anywhere. But if I could, I'd spend about 10 minutes talking about how just brain dead that you have to be, okay, to make the pass. I can't even fucking talk. Okay, yeah. Anyways, the pass interference. This man threw the ball out of bounds. Gunnar Stockton threw it out of bounds. And they called a pass interference on Tennessee. Extended the drive that would ultimately become this play right here. Drive is over, gets pressured, throws it out of bounds. Clearly out of bounds. Straight up hits the right stick and throws it out of bounds. And and we get a PI. I don't think the DBs played great. I said this going into this game. We were down 2 DBs, but I liked Colton Hood, who played okay, but he also gets a hold on an interception. And, so again, not overly surprised that they didn't exactly light it up. But at the same time, I was going to say, maybe just don't touch him at all, and then you wouldn't have to worry about it. But at the same time, the dude threw the ball out of bounds. It's not PI. It's just not. So I couldn't find that clip anywhere, but I just want everyone in the world to know that I wanted to jump off a bridge when I saw that, and that very much so increased my blood pressure in that moment, let's just say. So later on in the drive, we have this, and what I want to bring up about this play is talking about the DBs and talking about the defense, but the DBs specifically. They did this all game, and it was driving me crazy all game. You got to look around for the ball. You got to turn your head. You just have to. Not in college, but in the NFL, they will call that PI. We're in college, so who cares? It's just a good habit to have for many, many reasons. That being a way downstream benefit if you end up being that good to go there. There's really no reason to just not go ahead and learn that, because it prevents stuff like this from happening like it did all game. And if you turn around, you can possibly get a pick or a deflection, but in general, it prevents things like this happening because you have no clue where the ball is and you're just sprinting with your hands up in the air. Let's run that back. Okay. I mean, Ford never even, he never even turns around at all. He just never even turns around at all. Buddy, what are you doing? And then that's just a rub route, so, but this is just, my man, ball, my man, ball, my man, ball. He's like, oh, how did I get there? Jesus Christ. Okay, so there's that. And then we have the Tennessee drive, which this is where the hypo things start to really, really, really add up and become very, very obvious to me. So let's just go ahead and skip to the 3rd and 7, which I don't have a clip of. But on 3rd and 7, we false started right before this poor bastard had to go in to try to win the game. Bro got stadium pulsed by his own fans. For real, though. But here's the thing. He also got stadium pulsed by his own coach. So it's 3rd and 7 right before that, right? 3rd and 7, and we line up to run a play. Typically in that situation, if not always in that situation, you're probably not really trying to do anything on that play. You're just trying to either center the ball or maybe gain some yards just to make it a little bit of an easier field goal. You're not fucking throwing, a post over the middle. Although I would say once again that if you did want to, you could have taken a shot to the end zone, and you have a guy on the field who has completed that for touchdowns 3 times. And you have a receiver who caught all 3 of those. They were just jump balls. So with 7 seconds left, that definitely was an option for the record. But because we're factoring in the early onset dementia that it seems our entire offensive staff has, we're going to assume that we're just going to try to gain a couple yards to get an easier field goal, or we're going to try to center it up. Now, why you would be on the left hash going to center it up, but the play before that you ran to the left, I don't totally understand. It seems like if you'd ran to the left, unless, again, your thinking was, what we're definitely going to do is center this up on the next play, in which case that's okay and different. But this brings you to the point. You get the false start, coaching, by the way, and if we're super, super worried, which he clearly was, which is why he played so conservatively towards the end, he was coaching not to lose, not to actually win, clearly. So if that's the case, why are we even in shotgun at all? Because, the ball could get snapped over his head. It's just very inconsistent when it comes to that. And then you get a false start. Don't know if that was a pulling guard. Don't exactly remember. Can't find the clip either for that one. But the point being is, I hope to God that was just man-on-man blocking. Because, again, the logic of not wanting anything crazy to happen doesn't really apply whenever you run anything that has the guys, trying to get an early get-off, which causes a false start. So the false start happens. And now it's 3rd and 12. Now, answer me this question if you could. Just walk through this thought experiment with me, please. It's 3rd and 7, and you line up to run a play. Okay, for whatever reason. Like I said, probably a positioning thing or to get a few yards. I don't even really care at that point. That's fine. Again, I think you had plenty of time to take a shot to the end zone and try to, do something that's a little bit more aggressive than that. But if that's what you're going to do, okay, cool. Get it as close as you like. Get it to where you want. Again, you could have done that the play before that, but instead of relying on, 7 seconds so that something like this could happen. But the point being is that, I really do feel bad for him. It really does. My dad said on the phone, he said, it really doesn't help that he looks like he's 12. I don't even know if he looks like he's 12, dog. He looks like he's 9, 10 years old. And he's wearing number 90. It's just like, not a whole lot of confidence is produced when you see that. And my dumb ass thought that he was Chase McGrath, who made the kick from almost that exact same position against Alabama. Definitely not. Once I realized it wasn't, I was terrified correctly. The point being is that it's 3rd and 7. You run the play, or you go to run the play. You get a false start. So now it's 3rd and 12. You still have the same timeouts. You're still on the same hash, the left hash. And now the field goal's further away. I really struggle to understand why you would run a play, why you would justify. I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't understand how the logic of running a play on 3rd down and 7 with 7 seconds left and 2 timeouts isn't the same logic, but actually more necessary now because you're 5 yards back after a false start. Nothing has changed. You were prepared to run a play, 3rd and 7, 2 timeouts. You were prepared to run a play. I don't understand what about the circumstances have changed to make you not want to run a play. Again, if anything, the play should be ran even more so now because you're further back. So you definitely need some extra yards now. Maybe help your kicker out. Instead, what he does is he turns around to his kicker who just saw you line up for 3rd and 7 is probably thinking like any other person at that moment, well, I'm assuming you're going to run another play, right? You're not looking at me to go in right now, are you? No, I am. For some reason, now we're going to kick it. We're 5 yards further, but now we're going to kick it. So remember how a few plays ago I told you I was going to try to get you in the right spot, get as close as we could? Yeah, fuck that. Just go ahead and do it, kid. You got this? I mean, legitimately. And look at the bottom right here, 22, right? That's the play clock. So after that false start happens, you have 40 seconds to run a play. So this kid, I'm painting the picture here. This kid is standing there waiting to kick a game-winning field goal, right? He's obviously nervous. These fucking clips of him on the sideline are horrendous. But he's clearly terrified, obviously, as most of us would. I'm not shitting on him for that. But your head coach then leaves you out to fucking dry because it's 3rd and 7 and he's running a play. Then it's a false start and he turns around randomly. He's like, go now. You got 40 seconds. Like, I don't understand. To me, just to cut to the chase, this is what happened. I think that the false start happened and Heupel panicked. I think Heupel panicked and he's like, I don't want to do anything else to risk, knocking us out of field goal range or anything like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and kick it now. He was playing not to lose. He was terrified. I really think that that's what happened. I really think that he panicked. I really think that after that false start, he was just really afraid that something terrible was going to happen, maybe something worse, maybe a fumble or something like that. But again, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy because ultimately you missed the kick anyway. And I would argue that it had to do a lot with the way that was handled. So you got the PI, you got the Chris Brazzle just absolutely, disappearing from the game issue. You got the clock management issue at the end. You got the play or the field goal decision making on when you're going to kick it thing at the end. And my dad also brought up a very good point too, is that in Heupel's offenses, the quarterback almost never fucking pulls the ball. Almost never. And we have a lot of really, really good running backs. And so, teams are able to crash down on them. And again, we have a lot of good running backs. We still are successful, but that success opens up things to the outside. And I had never thought about this before, but I'm not sure that Tennessee's quarterbacks have the option to pull. I don't know if Heupel actually says, if it's there, pull it. I don't know when you line up, if you're playing the game. I actually don't think that. I mean, again, I hadn't thought about this before, but I think that he's right about this. I don't think that those plays are actually read plays. I think that the quarterback runs out like he's going to do it just to keep him honest, but I really don't even think he has the option because it's either that or they're blind. And as a group, regardless, they're blind because I'm pretty sure Joey Aguilar or any quarterback that we've had here could have handled the instructions of, hey, they've been crashing down all game. We're going to pull this one. It's just not that crazy of an adjustment to make. So you add that into it as well. And it's just a very disappointing performance. Here's the kick, by the way. I mean, it's not even fucking close. It's not even close. Yeah. Me and you both, buddy. Me looking at Josh Heupel, wondering how long he's going to make it. So, yeah, the combination of all those things is basically, this poor kid fucking shanked that. Holy shit. Oh, Lord. Oh, I forgot that I'd never actually, watched it because as soon as it came off, it was live and I knew it was going to be a miss. I forgot that I have a clip of that. So, yeah, let's just go ahead and I guess we can run that.
He was about to run a play just then. He just lost 5 yards. He doesn't want to risk losing another fucking 5 yards. Heupel was over there shit.
Brother, take the 3 seconds. Why are you giving him any time? All right, we're kicking it.
Oh, my God.
We're kicking it. Here we go.
Oh, my God.
It's a 35-yarder.
Go on, Max.
Nope. No! He fucking missed. I told you I didn't fucking like him. I told you I didn't focus the ball in his face. fucking knew to begin with. That false start off saying. And then you said, we're not fucking jinxed. What the fuck are we doing? He literally said, we cannot be jinxed. The fuck are we doing?
So, yeah. Tennessee loses. Josh Heupel proves everything that I ever said about him correct. Again, I like him a lot. First of all, I like him as a person. He seems like an amazing guy to play for. As far as just the kind of guy that he is, and, like the Oklahoma game last year when they gave him the game ball and stuff like that, and I really like him a lot. And he has brought us out of a period of Tennessee football that was just absolutely, it was terrible. Like legitimately, I stopped being, and still am not, as much of a college football fan as I was growing up. And there's many reasons for that, but one of them straight up was that Tennessee was terrible, and that's my favorite team. It's just not fun to watch. And we ran literally like not fun to watch offenses for a very long time. So like my dad was excited that when we got Heupel, just because of the offense alone. So I would agree with that, and it's been a whole lot better than it was, and we've been a whole lot more successful than we were and competitive than we were. But again, please go watch that last video. It should be literally the last video that's on the channel right now, where I talk about this. It's literally titled, "Is Josh Heupel Mark Richt?" Ironically, one of Georgia's head coaches where he had a whole lot of success for a very, very long time, like a lot of success, like a lot. And they eventually fired him because he just couldn't get him past games like this. And again, yeah, ironically, I think that is the fate of Heupel. To be honest, I don't know that the game could have played out any better for proving that hypothesis correct. So let me know what you think as far as that goes. We're going to run through some other things here at the end. Joey Aguilar is now a plus 1,600 to win the Heisman Trophy. Which makes no sense to me. It really just tells you where the quarterback position and where the talent, generally speaking, is. Right now, Tennessee also stayed at number 15. I think Georgia went up by 1 or stayed where they were. So Tennessee overall gained a lot of respect from this game. I think that's a little bit crazy. Over 3 50-50 balls that he threw up. That's where I'll go back to what my dad said. That was all Brazzle, in my opinion. And again, the first underthrow was so bad that it was good, but it's not like he did that on purpose. I like Joey a lot. Unfortunately, he struggles from the same issues that basically every Tennessee quarterback has had, which is, being super, super hot. At least he can deliver, down the field throws, because we haven't had a quarterback that could do that in 3 or 4 years, 2 or 3 years, I guess, with Nico and fucking Joe Milton. Nico's kind of just like a skinny Joe Milton, really, to be real. But yeah, I love that he can hit wide open receivers, but he's fine. But yeah, just not good enough ultimately, which again, it's almost like there's a common denominator. Bobby Hill looking ass. I love you. I'm just kidding, Josh. Okay, so one other thing that we talked about before, like I said, it would be a little bit of a compliment sandwich of some kind. Quarterback play has been really bad. We were just talking about this with the Heisman odds, actually. Let's just look through these. Garrett Nussmeier, 689, 3 TDs, 2 interceptions. Ooh, that is not good. Not good. I did say, by the way, that he does very well at the line of scrimmage, but other than that, nothing impressive. DJ Lagway, Mr. Tim Tebow 2.0, yes sir, 6'2", 629, 5 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. That is rough. That is rough. Obviously, I have nothing personal against Nico or any of these kids. It's just, I can't stand people that get hyped up for no reason. I really can't, including this kid. Real quick aside about Arch, I really haven't had a whole lot. We did talk about him after the Ohio State game, to be fair. But one thing that I didn't put in there that I've noticed is that there's something wrong with that kid's throwing motion. I'm just going to cut right to the heart of my take on that, and we'll come back to it and continue to monitor it. But it looks to me like Tim Tebow's throwing motion, but quicker. When Tim Tebow was coming into the NFL, he had this really long, looping throwing motion that they tried to fix, and they never really did. Wasn't really a problem in college because of the level of athletes. He could afford to do that, and he had a pretty good arm. So he could afford to do that in college, but in the NFL, the caliber of athletes just didn't allow for that. And it just really affected his game a whole lot, and you're not going to change something like that at that point. I don't know if he's hurt or what, but he has one of the weirdest releases that I've ever seen, Arch. And I think mentally he's shot at this point. They were booing him this past weekend. This isn't a story that we covered obviously here today, but he actually went like 9 incompletions in a row. Something's not right with him, and it's bad when you genuinely almost hope that it's an injury. I was trying to figure out a way to say it, but you almost hope it's an injury because he looks bad. Sam Levitt, actually don't know who they played. I think they played a couple ranked teams. That's not terrible, but not great. Here's another guy we were talking about NFL this, NFL that. He supposedly turned down like almost $10 million to go somewhere else other than South Carolina. That's not great either. I don't know why this kid was put in here. I guess because he has 5 picks. But what makes no sense to me, Cade, we talked about Cade, way overrated as well. This one surprises me. Austin Simmons, I thought he would be very, very good. So maybe that's just a new starter thing for him. Carr or something is his name. And they don't even have Nico on here, which drives me crazy, obviously. Generational here. But yeah, how you have all these guys on here and you don't put 0-3? Nico Iamaleava, I have no clue. Oh, goodness gracious. Let's see what we got here. This man threw 5 interceptions. Good God. Florida fans, DJ Lagway can't possibly throw another INT. DJ Lagway, I got one more. Oh, we did that one already. I don't even know exactly what, I guess because it's supposed to be painful. That's kind of wild. Yeah, well, it's also your fault for hyping him up like that. DJ Lagway is time to read a defense. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus. That's rough. Went from Emory Jones to Anthony Richardson to DJ Lagway. I've seen more interceptions than most fans will see in their lifetime. Oh, that's a fact. Funny and true story. I took my dad to a Tennessee game, and it was Tennessee versus Florida, and Anthony Richardson was the quarterback, and I was not impressed going in and wasn't impressed afterwards. And then he became the number 4 pick, and now he has lost a QB battle to Daniel Jones. So DJ Lagway is Anthony Richardson if he were slower and threw more interceptions. So basically the only positives. You took out the only positives about Anthony Richardson. Broke at the wrong dogs, and that's not funny. Yeah, well, somebody told me about that going into it. DJ Lagway has resorted to throwing to wherever the most white jerseys are. Oh my Lord. Look, that's a picture and not in total context, but I'm not sure how you explain that one, DJ. Oh no. So, yeah. Oh, by the way, you might be wondering how they got in this position. Maybe it's because these are the kind of people that are coaching these kids. Yeah. You got guys, coaches being suspended for slapping college kids. We've moved on. We've addressed those circumstances. Individuals make mistakes. Billy. You just hate to see it. Couldn't have happened to a better program. I mean, a worse program. I don't know. I was trying to pretend to care. Honestly, fuck Florida. That is what we got for this week. So we went over Nico and UCLA once again because they are the gift that just keeps on giving. We closed up here with Florida for the same exact reason, and kind of there in the middle for the same exact reason too. Josh Heupel, the gift that keeps on giving. I will certainly continue to monitor all the things that immediately came true within 24 hours of the video that I put out regarding Tennessee and regarding Josh Heupel. And if you like this video, please like it. Statistically, if you were watching this, you were probably not subscribed. So if you're still here 45 minutes into a college football breakdown video, please give me a subscribe, give me a like, give me a share to something. Who cares? Whatever it is, just please engage with the channel here on YouTube in some way. It really, really does help more than you know. So stay tuned over the next couple days for an NFL recap video, as well as the very first edition of the Coliseum that will feature combat sports, the Crawford and Canelo fight, which is funny because I was saying Canelo and Crawford before the fight, but the Canelo and Crawford fight, Crawford and Canelo fight, which was also which closed my Saturday in a super not upsetting way at all. So yeah, excited to get into that as well and begin talking about boxing and the UFC and that kind of thing. And that will actually bridge into the next boxing video, which you will see why in there. But really excited to talk about that too. So stay tuned for those episodes, and we'll see you next time.